All right, we are here today, just less than 24 hours out from the Defend event, and today I'm joined by another one of our special guests. Teri, would you like to introduce yourself and give everyone a bit of background onto who you are?
Sure. Great. Yeah, I'm Teri Robinson. I'm the executive editor at SC Media, and we are a Cyber Risk Alliance company. I have covered cybersecurity issues as part of SC for the last 7 years, have a strong tech background. We, of course, are always approaching cyber as a business proposition. And I think a lot of exciting things have been going on in this industry for a long time, but with the advent of the COVID pandemic, a lot has changed.
Yeah, I cannot agree with you more there. I think, in all the interviews that I've had, everyone's been saying the same thing. Everyone was going digital. We just now are only digital. And that's all right. I think that, like I said, we were going there anyway. But from your background and with this event in mind, what is the lookout for digital fraud? How do you expect it to be in transitioning over the next couple months, few years, whatever it might be?
Wow. Well, I mean, getting back to COVID, there's so much fraud associated with it now. These guys are quick. They jump on a topic almost before you can even think about it. They've exploited some event going on, and man, this pandemic has created some fertile ground.
Yeah, I agree with you. I was saying earlier on, what feels like a millennia ago, that unfortunately now people have more time to do what they do best. Which I guess is like a good and a bad thing.
It is. Well, except for those of us who, it's great. Those of us who are, moving to a work from home situation and moving so very quickly. I mean, it's great. We're nimble. We're doing that. But boy, what are the security vulnerabilities there? And it just opens a whole can of worms for these guys. I mean, and that's their full-time job, right? Is to find ways to exploit vulnerabilities. And there we are. We're all sitting out there, sometimes without the full support of what used to be our network or corporate resources, or those guys are still trying to figure out how to support a work from home workforce, but then also now that things have settled in relative terms, have settled a little bit, how to support both, like a hybrid, where you have maybe the bulk of your people working from home, but now you've got people going back, and security teams have all that on their plate. That's a lot, and it leaves openings for the bad guys to come in.
Agreed. Yeah, no, I mean, it's kind of like free falling without the safety net.
It sure is.
That's kind of the idea behind this event, is to be able to talk about these things, because the only way to solve the problems is to get some smart people in a room and let them talk about it. And so, speaking of those individuals that are the experts in their field, who is it that you're most excited to be able to speak with in the next couple days?
I'm really excited to be able to speak with Jonathan Reber. I think he's got so much to bring to the table on a storied career, and I really am interested in hearing what he and the other panelists have to say about how the fraud proposition has changed more recently.
No, I agree. Jonathan is, he worked under the Obama administration and has done a lot in his career. I certainly would like to accomplish half of as much as he's achieved in his career.
Right. Well, and he worked under a very different administration too, so it's always interesting if you can compare approaches.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I know that the Obama administration was a very tech forward administration, so
Hmm.
certainly he was never at a lack of technology around him.
Yeah.
Um, but with this event in mind, you said that you're most excited to be talking about or to talking to. But what are you most excited to be talking about?
Well, I really do think that there's so much to talk about in terms of how the way the fraud landscape maybe changed very quickly, in the last few months. What are the concerns now versus what they were in January? And is there any more guidance, in terms of how to head that kind of fraud off at the pass? Because it's interesting with fraud because some of it is the same thing just under a different label, you know. But I think that the the fraudsters, if you will, whatever you want to call them, have gotten way more clever and sophisticated. They act quickly, but they also have a lot of patience. So they play the long game a lot of times. And, that's really difficult.
I agree with you. It is all about the long game with them, which is good and bad. It gives you a little bit of time, but they generally are, unfortunately, a little bit ahead of the game than we are.
Yeah, so you have a little bit of time to look for them, a little bit more time to look for them, right? But you know, you have to find out who they are. I mean, and where they are. I mean, in addition to where they are, I mean, who are they? What's the objective? And that's a little bit harder to, well, I mean, yes, we all know there are different objectives, but I mean, you know, uh, where they are, where are they is a little bit more difficult. And have they gotten there yet? That's the other thing. I mean, are they inside, or is it coming from inside the house already, or, you know?
Definitely agree with you. And I guess the last question would be: everybody always uses the term elevator pitch, and I like to use that term as well. And so I guess the question would be, we're less than 24 hours away from this event. If I'm still on the fence of, do I want to spend the time to join this event? What is the elevator pitch for you in terms of those people that are still on the cusp? Why should they join this event?
Wow. I mean, why turn down an opportunity to hear from these experts? I mean, come on, this is a great way to spend your time, and we just talked about you're sitting at home. It's not to say you're not busy, and you are, and you got a lot of responsibilities, but tune in. You're gonna find some answers to some questions here regarding fraud and how to mitigate.
No, I agree with you. I think one of the things I've always enjoyed about these events is I find out answers to questions I didn't know I had.
That too. These events have a way of teasing that out of you, right? Making you think. So.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate your time, and
Sure.
and I'm sure that our followers do as well. I certainly look forward to hearing from you on the during the event, and we'll definitely be
Absolutely.
in touch soon.
I'm going to have some questions during the event.
I'm looking forward to hearing them.
Great.
Thank
Thanks.
you.